just everyone needs to take like a step back. Hello. Welcome to Meryl's Mystic. I am Meryl, and I empower witches, bitches, and dudes to complete themselves in order to have healthier soulmate relationships and more purposeful lives. And today we are here to talk about the upcoming full moon in Taurus partial eclipse on Friday, November 19th. The full moon during Scorpio season is always in Taurus because it is the opposite sign of Scorpio. So that means that Scorpio and Taurus have a lot in common, and then they have a lot not in common. It's kind of like everybody's almost like Gemini twin, where you really have a lot of stuff in common, and sometimes if you have an opposite sign in your life, a lot of the times the things that get to you about them are actually the qualities that you have that you would like to change about yourself. So that can happen a lot. Scorpio and Taurus, the things that they have in common are definitely their stubbornness. And it's funny because they both need structure, but Taurus is a little bit better at having structure in their life than Scorpio, because Scorpio is a water sign and Taurus is an earth sign. And the other thing about it is that their sensuality is very similar, but there's definitely differences in the way that they can view the world. I have a lot of Taurans in my life that I definitely really get along with, but I also notice that as a Scorpio, I am very like dreamy and like looking on the positive side of things. And although Taurus is a positive sign, they can definitely be like a good cheerleader. They're very earthbound and very in the physical and kind of like just a little bit more, they hold on a little bit more to their beliefs, where Scorpio is a little bit more fluid. And so these two energies line up during this full moon in November during this season, and it is also the Beaver moon. And Taurus and Beaver have a lot in common because they're very home people. They like, again, structure, and they like things being, oh my gosh, now I can't think of words. I don't want to say predictable, like creatures of comfort a little bit, but also hardworking to kind of very hardworking to maintain a safe space around them. And it's a great opposite energy of Scorpio, because Scorpio is not always great with boundaries. And so Taurus is usually much better with their boundaries and their confidence, where Scorpio... it can take a little bit of time for them to find those boundaries and that structure. And for this season, this Scorpio season this year has just been really deep. And we have been going deep into our shadows, into our subconscious, into our psyches, and really exploring like who we are and why we are, and also finding those parts about us to be unapologetic about and to fully embody without worrying about what other people think. I feel like Scorpio and Taurus can both be really good energies to just kind of like flip the world off and say, fuck what you think. It's once they find that confidence, there's like no stopping them. So with us being in a very intense, like the seasons this year have been so intense because we've been it's almost like we get soaked in the energy because there's been a new moon of that same seasonal energy right in the middle of the beginning of the season, or right in the middle kind of the season, beginning to middle, and then it's capped off by these full moons. And so it's like we're going really deep into this energy. Like that new moon in Scorpio was really revealing. I hope you were shedding old paradigms and old views of yourself, letting go of limiting beliefs that the world and society or yourself or whoever raised you put on you. And, you know, I totally had like a mini existential crisis right around that moon. Like, what is this? What's happening? And I can definitely feel us coming out of that as we're heading to this moon. But this Taurus full moon, in order to bring the structure of the moon to all of the watery, deep emotion and inner depths of ourselves and subconscious that we've been swimming in, basically. It's just like we've been soaking in this pool of our quantum selves in many timelines, or on this timeline in many different forms, and who we've been, and are we still those people, and who do we want to be in the future. The structure of this moon, because it's also an eclipse, so we're kind of done manifesting for the rest of the season. That last new moon was really the last chance to do some strong manifesting and some ritual manifesting. Manifesting of like creating new things, new manifestations. So when we get into eclipse season, which is just through the rest of this year, we don't want to do as much like purposeful manifesting anymore. You can definitely like revisit your goals and get more organized so that, you know, so that after the holidays and everything, like you're ready to, you know, keep going. It's kind of like doing a little bit of maintenance on things that you've already established. The other energy that came forward with this moon is this integration energy. And it made me think of doing Savasana in yoga. If you've ever practiced yoga, or if you've been to a guided yoga class, practiced guided yoga, the end of any guided yoga practice session, class, I don't really call it a class, is you do Shavasana. And it's, for some people, I just feel like, oh, sweet, like I had a good workout and now I get to relax. But it's actually more than that. There is something very purposeful about a rest after a lot of movement and a lot of activity. So it's like we've been swimming through these waters and diving deep into ourselves and really exploring like what's been going on within us. So it's been like a lot of stuff, like a lot of this, a lot of like, oh, this and that, and this thing's coming up, and like I've had to like make less plans, because the more plans I make, then things don't work out the way I want them to. You do Shavasana at the end of a yoga practice to actually have your body integrate what you just did. Because in yoga especially, you are constantly, you know, stretching yourself, going a little further into these poses than you went last time. So you're never the same afterwards. You're growing. You're literally growing your body and your muscles. And it's also about growing your mind and your connection to yourself and to your higher power. Like, it's all these things encompassed in this class that you know, has been Americanized as a workout, and it's so much more than that. And so I want you to think of this new moon as it's almost like an emotional Shavasana. It's this rest, this integration, this pause that needs to happen in order to integrate all these things that you've been working on, been discovering about yourself, that all the things that you've been letting go, that you're realizing, why am I even worried about that anymore? Why am I thinking about that? You know, anything that you've established, any boundaries you've established, anything you've learned about yourself, any revelations, aha moments, light bulbs. It's like there was so much stuff happening, and it was really like, and you were growing. Any of that work you're doing, that inner exploration is growth. Is you growing and stretching and learning and evolving. So now you have to give your whole body and your mind and your emotions a rest so that it can all be integrated. A symptom of this in our society that we get caught up in when we don't just sit and like integrate and just like feel where you're at and just being present with things. The symptom of us not doing that in society is when you see people that complete a task or get that promotion, or, reach a goal, and they don't even sit for a second and like really feel that the feeling of accomplishment and arriving at some place that you've been working on. So often people are like, okay, well, what's next? Okay, well, let's do this next. And things like that, we do it in relationships. Okay, that one didn't work out with this one, so might as well just I gotta get under somebody before you get over somebody. I mean, hey, I'm all for a rebound, but like when you're a serial monogamous and you don't give time between to overview and like, okay, well, what happened? What didn't work out? How am I going to make sure that I'm not, in the same relationship and just with a different person? These are all symptoms of us not being taught in Western society to just stop after completing something, to acknowledging that you've gotten somewhere, acknowledging that you grew and that you're in a different place than you were before, and that like you set out this goal and you got there. Or when something big happens, it's like, okay, get over it. Better just get over it. But you gotta move on. Can't wallow. If we gave ourselves a little bit more time to just sit with it, or just to like stop for a second before we start doing that other thing, then I feel like you're less likely to repeat mistakes, to feel burnt out, to keep searching for something outside of yourself that's going to make you feel fulfilled or happy. Because you didn't sit for a second and be like, oh man, I did this. I did this. So I want you to have like a sense of accomplishment that if you were having like a rough Scorpio season, good. I hope, if you were having to explore some deep emotional things, it was a little rough, like I'm applauding you. Congratulations, you did it. And you learned something, and you're growing from that, and you're evolving from that, and that's amazing. To make sure that those things really stick and you get to take them into the next phase, this is like universal permission to just kind of stop. It's definitely time for rest. It's time for grounding, to get grounded. Especially Taurus is an earth sign. This is about coming home to yourself, doing self-care practices, doing grounding practices, meditating, exercise, getting out in nature, connecting with your body somehow, going to bed early, taking hot baths, like eating better food, just making some little choices, doing less. Especially, this is like our last little kind of like do a little less right now before the rest of the holiday season really kicks off. Because no matter how much you try to avoid it, we're all cogs in the system, unfortunately. And it affects things. It affects how businesses are run and how going out and doing things is. So this is kind of the last moment Scorpio season ends on the 20th, or like the 20th, 21st, and moves into Sagittarius season the evening of the 21st. And then a month after that's winter solstice, and then it's Yule and Christmas and the New Year, you know, we have Turkey Day coming up. So, yeah. Just because you have time in your calendar doesn't mean you have to fill it up and schedule something. If you have extra time in your calendar, go into your calendar wherever you schedule things, whether it's written or digital, and block that time out and say me time. I'm not going to schedule anything right here. Ooh, look at that. Things just pop right up. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so pull a couple cards for the moon. I always, as soon as I start talking about it, it's like just becomes like a tangent. So, Two of Swords in reverse, the Ace of Cups in reverse, and then the Nine of Cups. So, this is kind of cool because with the Two of Swords in reverse, the first thing that came to me was you don't actually have to make a choice, which is very interesting because I feel like for the last, I think it was the last full moon we got together, and then for the Scorpio season Taroscopes, which go watch those for your sun, moon, and rising sign, if you haven't yet, on Meryl's Mystic YouTube. I feel like there were a lot of choices that were happening as we were entering Scorpio season, needing to make these choices about who we are and where we're going and who we surround ourselves with. And so now I like that this shift is like, maybe it's not time to make that choice. Maybe if you feel like you have to make that choice, it's like pushing it. It's like the choices are going to be revealing themselves. Don't push it. Don't push it. The choices will be revealing themselves. So this thing, I mean, I never thought when my mom said this to me that it would be such a big part of my life, but it's when you don't know what to do, don't do anything. Because you're not going to make an aligned choice if you're just picking because you have to. And it really feels like if there might be a situation where you feel like you're having to choose something, pick this, do that, and it just feels like you don't. You don't have to choose right now. There's time. And with it in reverse, it's like go back a little bit. If you take a step back, get your mind right, connect with your voice, connect with your inner voice. I forgot to ring the bell. Because it can reference the Ace of Swords, and it's like, there's an opportunity here to like step back, reevaluate. Again, it's like just everyone needs to take like a step back. And it's interesting that the Ace of Cups is coming up in reverse because this is about like taking care of yourself and filling your cup. So I feel like it's definitely validation of me saying like things are going to pick up soon. Sagittarius season moves quick. And then we're in winter, and we have like can-do Capricorn carrying us through the new year. And then all of a sudden it's going to be 2022 and like it's like, time's wild, man. We time travel all the time. So there's so much stuff coming up that it's like you got to make sure your cup is so full that it's overflowing in order to be the best you through everything that's coming up. It's like if you're bored right now, enjoy being bored. Some of you I feel like are just like also like this is also a bad sign that you're just draining your cup. Like, it's, you just like, oh yeah, just sprinkle some over here and sprinkle some over here, and I don't need any for me, it's fine. It's not fine. It's not fine. It's interesting, these cards especially together, because we have aces, but we don't. We have these like beginning points, but we don't. So it's kind of like, it makes me think like, what are you doing that's like holding you back? What are you doing that's not working out the way you think? Just like I said before, when I make too many plans, things don't work out the way that I think they are. And when I say, okay, I'm going to do these two things in the day, and then all of a sudden someone's like, well, can you do this also? I have to really sit there and be like, okay, come on now, Meryl. This is what we were going to do today. This is all that we can handle today. And sure, you could probably fit that extra thing in, but how's that going to make the rest of your day go? And I have to like recognize that it's my boundaries. Because we can't stop people asking us from doing things, but we can put our boundaries down of when we're actually going to do that stuff or not. What is it? It was there and then it's gone. I got distracted. ADD, I got distracted by the comments. So, which is kind of funny that there's just like this, like, stop, look, and listen. Because there is, like, it's this, because we're integrating all of this new emotional stuff too. Because everything that came up for Scorpio season is represented here in this, like, new emotional stuff. So it's like, don't waste it. What was it? If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. What movie is that from? Is it true if you don't use it, you'll lose it? Like, yes. So it's like you learned all this stuff, but now you're getting caught up already in your head about things and losing all that great, like, deep work that you've been doing. And so it's like, and it can be great. It's like, oh, I figured all this stuff out about myself, and I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. It's like, that's great. But, like, you got to practice it now. You got to practice, like, those things being a part of you. And you can't just go backwards to your old life or who you used to be the way that you were before now. Because now you see things differently. Now you're reacting differently. And I love that it comes up with the Nine of Cups, because it's like, you have to make sure we're doing these two things for you to be in the Nine of Cups place. To be in this emotional contentment. You have to covet all these amazing, like, new things that you've found out about yourself and about who you are and how you want to move forward in the world. And that there's new stuff coming. We've been in huge transition for almost 2 years now. Just transition. And things are starting to really, like, all this transition, like, it's gonna stir things up. Things that need to change. Things that need to be seen differently. Things that need to change within you. Things that need to change around you. So really make sure you're pausing and sitting and integrating. Letting it settle. Letting it all settle. I think that's the word I was looking for. I was looking for, like, a word, like a feeling, a picture, like it's like you went into yourself and dusted and got all the cobwebs out and figured some deep shit out and helped your inner child and changed how you reacted to this thing and how you feel about that and realized how you really feel about this good stuff here and like found new levels of strength and gratitude and like and got all the cobwebs out and like it's because when you clean it's still like it's gonna stir all this dust up. It's like it stirred all this dust up. And now, for you to function within yourself, within your world, you have to let all that dust settle. Let it all settle. Look at all your work. Look at all your work. You did so great. You did so good. You did a lot of work, and now it's time to sit back and enjoy it. And know that it's ready for the next thing. Instead of sitting here and trying to do stuff and being like, I don't know, is it ready? Is it ready? Is it ready? It's ready. But you have to sit back and recognize that it's ready. Ooh. So I just got gifted from one of my favorite psychics locally here. Her name's Colleen Andrist. And her business is A Walk in Balance. And I just got she gifted me these energy oracle cards, which I love. So I pulled one of these for you all for this new moon cornucopia, which is perfect. It's the number 11. I'm trying to get it in both cameras here. Cornucopia number 11. So sometimes you have to like clean up stuff to like realize how much you have, even if you're getting rid of stuff, you know? Okay, wishes fulfilled. It's the first thing it says. Yay, an abundant harvest and great blessings are waiting for you, and you may even find all of your wishes fulfilled. This cornucopia of gifts from the universe can come in the form of financial riches, job fulfillment, romantic love, or all of the above. When you receive the cornucopia upright, you know that you've done important work and it's about to pay off. The seeds you've planted in your energy and in your life are ready to be harvested in some significant ways. Get ready for a great feast of abundant value is being prepared for you now, and Spirit is applauding all of your effort. The affirmation for the cornucopia card is, the universe is abundant, all that I desire comes to me in just the right way, and I am blessed. We all need that. And we're in like the harvest time. So it's that calm before the storm, the waiting for the fruit to be ripe, the food to be ripe before you actually harvest it. Because the harvest is coming. Awesome. Well, that's the general energy for the Taurus full moon for November 19th, 2021. Cool. Let me know if you have any other questions about that. And if you need any other support, you can always book a one-on-one session with me. Also, join my mailing list. The link is in the description. And you get all of my information before the rest of the internet on the mailing list. So it doesn't matter if things break down and the metaverse crashes. You know? All right, my pretties, my lovelies. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Meryl. Thank you for being with me at Meryl's Mystic. Please be sure to follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube. I will be live again in 2 weeks for the Sagittarius New Moon. Please be sure to follow all the things to get all the updates in between. Yes, sweet. And that's all. Thank you again. And I will see you all next time. Okay. Bye.